First, if I slip into a cough here at any moment, that's not related to any illnesses. It's related to my CPAP machine. Every once in a while, I've got to take even the smallest pieces of it apart and then scrub it down. And the last couple of days, I've gotten out of bed and I've had that sort of dryness and scratchiness in the throat and a bit of a cough. And then it clears up as the day goes on. But I have to completely take the thing apart and get it all scrubbed up. Hey, a couple of notes on this situation with the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, and these goofballs who planned to kidnap her. They were going to take her to Wisconsin, and they say put her on trial. I get the impression these guys aren't too terribly dangerous. It seems to me that they were 2 beers short of a six-pack. They're the type of people who, they sit around and they guzzle a lot of beer, most likely, and they get their beer muscles up and they talk a lot, and they decided they were going to try to do this, and they didn't think it through very well. I don't think that they're a threat in the sense that someone could have obviously gotten hurt. But we're not talking some people here who are terribly well organized. And I don't think there's any great fear of this happening anytime soon to anyone else in politics across the northern Midwest where this occurred. I will take issue with this. Mainstream media is now trying to blame this on President Donald Trump. Oh, Trump's heated rhetoric leads to things like this happening. To which I always want to say, really? Because Steve Scalise was on a TV program this morning, and remember, that man is still recovering and will have a lifetime of recovery ahead of him and pain because a socialist shot him while he was practicing for a baseball game in suburban Washington. And at the time that took place, I can remember liberals telling me, well, you can't blame the rhetoric of the left for that. That's just a guy acting on his own. Well, okay. Then if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Now, I don't mean to make light of the Whitmer situation, but when I was a little boy, I saw a movie. I believe it was a Russian film translated into English, but it was about a little boy who was kidnapped by some incompetent local gangsters, and he was such a rotten little boy that at some point they decided they were going to send him back to his family, but his family didn't want him. And I can't stand listening to Governor Whitmer with that awful Great Lakes Inland North dialect. I can't stand listening to that for more than 30 seconds. Can you imagine? After a couple of days of this so-called trial, please, Governor, go home. Please, 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 please leave us. All right, we'll buy the bus ticket. Please, we'll do whatever we can. All right, a couple of other quick things. You may have heard Nancy Pelosi is talking about, she says, I think today she's going to be bringing this up. She was speaking with media, and she's talking about invoking the 25th Amendment against President Trump because, well, he's bad when it comes to coronavirus.
Well, I don't know what the prospects are when we hear people saying I'm young and I'm a perfect specimen instead of addressing the fact that 50,000 people were infected, reported to be infected yesterday. Nearly 1,000 people died. What are we talking about here? Tomorrow, by the way, come here tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the 25th Amendment, but not to take attention away from the subject we have now.
Do you think it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment?
I'll talk to you about that tomorrow.
Oh.
I'll talk to you about it tomorrow. I'm not talking about it today, except to tell you, if you want to talk about that, we'll see you tomorrow. But
I'm going to cut it off right there. It sounds a little bit like Joe saying, I'm not going to talk today about packing the court because it'll be a headline. So I'm not going to talk about the 25th Amendment today because, after all, it'll be a headline. They're both headlines, for crying out loud. If they're really so confident that they've got such a huge lead that they're going to defeat Donald Trump, why, oh, why are we dealing with these things? Just a thought. Let that one seep into your mind, deep into your recesses. Anyway, if you like our videos, please click on the subscribe button at the top of the page. And leave any comments in the comment section below. Anything else you think we should be talking about or you'd like some answers to, we'll do our best. Remember, Boardwalk Potatoes, I'm Bill Colley, and sometimes you actually get a chance to listen to my better business half, Jake Smith.